I'm hoping, I know Monday morning, it's always tough to say, but do you guys get the sense that health-wise, how did the Cowboys come through that game, and how is Deron Bland looking?
I think we came through the game health-wise pretty good. I think we're going to be just fine, and, the good news is we'll be getting some more players back. So, overall, as we head into the playoffs here, we feel health is not an issue.
Well, and since you just referenced that, I was curious. I feel like, or I guess I hope as a Cowboys fan, is that in allusion to Biotish, Hankins, and LVE? Is the hope or anticipation that all three will be ready for Tampa Bay?
That's our hope right now. I mean, you never know once you get them out there practicing, if you have a setback or something. But right now, I think in general, our trainers feel very good about where they've progressed up to this point, and ready for them to work back into practice this week and get ready to go play the Buccaneers.
Stephen, I'm not going to lie. After that game last night, it felt pretty gross, and I had to go take a shower and clean that off real quick. And I was kind of curious, how do you cleanse yourself after one of those kind of nights?
Well, I mean, it's obviously very disappointing, the way we played the game, and we're certainly not going to have any success against anything if we play like that. My hat is off to the Redskins. They came out ready to play. They do have a very talented defense, and but at the same time, that's what we're gonna see in the playoffs. You're gonna see really good defenses, really good offenses, and I don't know, what was exactly. We got to put our finger on it, but we've got to move forward. We're better than that, and know we can play better than that, and we just have to put that behind us and get ready to play the Buccaneers.
Well, and that is interesting that you said you can't put your finger on it, because Jaron Kerr said the same thing last night after the game, that we're not playing our best ball, and I don't know why. And that kind of concerns me. Does that concern you a little bit, that he can't figure out why they aren't playing their best?
No, I think I just think, at the end of the day, Mike will get this team ready. I think this is a good wake-up call for our team, in terms of knowing, hey, we've got to put all the work in during the week to have success on day of game. And, I'm just convicted. We've got a good group of guys, who I know what this means to them. I know all the work they put in through this season. Most teams, when you go through the course of the season, have a game like this. Obviously, by far, our toughest, worst game, if you will, in terms of a defeat. But, we just have to bounce back. One good thing about this team is we've bounced back after every loss. And I think the guys will do the same thing again. We got great leadership on this team, starting with Dak. We've got a great coaching staff with Mike and Kellen and Dan and Bones. And, I just think, I'm just convicted that we'll go out there and we'll do the work and get prepared the right way, and that we'll bounce back and have success.
Stephen, the run game hasn't been its best lately. What gives you optimism that the running game can get back on track in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, one of the things that will be helpful is get Biotish back. Getting him back will be a big deal. And, he's the quarterback of that offensive line. I think things just go a little smoother. Not that Connor doesn't do a nice job in there, but it's not where he's played most of the time. I think to get him back, to get our starting center back in the middle of that offensive line is going to go a long ways toward helping that. I think it coincides with the games that he's missed in terms of our struggles. I like our conviction to run the ball. I just think we got to be more productive doing it, and I think we can.
Is there, and that all makes sense to me. I was kind of curious, is there any concern that it also coincides with the injury loss of Terrence Steele, and maybe that is the explanation for some of the running struggles as well?
Well, I just think our guys are going to get the job done. I think Tyron's one of the best in the business. He's getting acclimated over there, but I just think we get the group, get guys back in their places. I think it'll be a big plus as we move forward, and convicted that we'll do the things that we need to do in practice this week to get the ball rolling again. I mean, obviously going into that game, I've seen statistics where we're the number one scoring offense in the league before this game over the last 8 games. So, I don't think you let one game ever define you. I know this team won't do it. And as I said, they've bounced back after every loss that we've had this year and bounced back in a positive way. And I fully expect that this time.
I was just curious, since you did bring up that statistic, is some of those points are at least built in via defensive points or defensive turnovers. How important is it for the defense to turn the ball over to get the offense going?
I think that's always important. I mean, that's a big part of most teams. I mean, anytime you lose that turnover battle in the NFL, there's a good chance you're going to lose the game. We certainly lost it last night. We shot ourselves in the foot. We were batting off. We weren't very good in any phase. Obviously, special teams, having the 2 turnovers there, was a big negative. We lost the turnover battle. I think anytime you create turnovers and you win the turnover battle, you give yourself a much better chance to win the game.
Stephen Jones joined us here on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan, as he does every Monday. Stephen, before the season, we were in Oxnard, and I remember asking you about the money, and Kevin had a very good question about the money that Amari Cooper had left over and what your plans were, and we discussed the potential of adding a wide receiver. That was something you thought, hey, a veteran wide receiver is going to still be important. Have you finished that? Is that done this season? Are you done with the veteran wide receiver? Do you think you found the answer opposite CeeDee Lamb?
Well, obviously Michael's had some really good games this year. Gallup has, and then he's had some quiet games. And I think T.Y. has come in here and done some good things. He had part of our problem last night were some drops, and he had a few himself. But I fully expect a veteran like him to bounce back and make the catches. He made some great catches last night, and overall he's been very productive for us. And I fully expect Michael to play well. And obviously CeeDee's had one of the best seasons of any wideout in the NFL. So, like I said, we're not going to let one game define us. It's real easy to take a game like this and really give a good critical look at anything. I mean, we just didn't play well. Really in any phase, if you really want to go to it, and we have to be better if we want to have success in the playoffs.
Since you brought up CeeDee Lamb, I think we all agree he has had a phenomenal season, and I know there are ebbs and flows throughout a game, and obviously you do not call the plays or anything like that, but CeeDee Lamb didn't get targeted until the team's 5th drive. Were you surprised by that? And I'm assuming that can't happen in the playoffs.
Well, like I said, at the end of the day, between Mike and Kellen and Dak, and the reads and what they're given in any given game can dictate that. And they're probably the better people to ask about, when balls ultimately start going to certain players. At the end of the day, obviously CeeDee's a big part of our offense. Certainly when he has success, the offense has success. And certainly the more times we can get him with his hands on the ball, he has more chances to make big plays, which he's very capable of doing. So I'm certainly certain Mike and Dak and Kellen can answer those questions better. But I do know this. I do know we go into most games wanting to give CeeDee his share of opportunities.
Stephen, on the defensive side, do you believe Van Der Esch and Hankins will be ready for Monday night?
He said he thinks
okay.
So.
Yes.
And then
at this point, we feel good about it.
When it comes to Tom Brady, obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he can't run. And Tampa Bay really struggles to run the ball throughout this season. Do you feel like that at least helps you guys out matchup-wise?
Well, you don't want to take anything for granted. Anytime you're playing playoff football, everybody picks it up a notch. You're playing one of the greatest quarterbacks probably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Certainly is hardware has skins on the walls to prove it. He's going to be a challenge. They're going to be a challenge. We're going to have to play our best football if we want to go beat Tampa in Tampa.
Stephen, we saw the report this morning that Dan Quinn, the Broncos requested permission to talk to him. Are you guys willingly letting him do this? And then on top of that, how does he balance, staying focused here with also that on his plate?
Well, Dan's the ultimate pro, and of course, NFL rules prohibit you from allowing any assistant coach to interview. It's more of a notice than it is a permission slip. So, the way the rules are now, the way the rules are in the NFL now, any assistant coach can interview for a head coaching job. Obviously, there's some protocols that are in place from a competitive standpoint that allows Dan to continue to do his job at a high level for us, but also give him the opportunity, if he so chooses, to take an opportunity with another team in terms of an interview.
Do you like the idea of the Tampa game being next Monday because you get an extra day to prep, but obviously the flip side could be how it looks if you make it to the divisional round?
Yeah, I mean, we're comfortable. I mean, the schedule is what it is. I mean, we get to play on Monday night. It'll be a great audience. It'll be a great. We're playing against a really good Tampa team, coached by, quarterback by the greatest player to play the game probably, and you relish that opportunity. It'll be a challenge, and we look forward to it.
Last night, Jason Garrett said the Cowboys struggled defensively on grass. Can you talk about how much faster guys can play on turf rather than on grass?
There's all schools of thought. And at the end of the day, you play the game where it's scheduled to be played. And we've got to go out and play our best football to win a football game. And I don't think the guys let it get into their head as to whether it's on grass or turf. I just think you suit them up, you put on your cleats, and you go play football.
And Stephen, I'm trying to figure out how the cornerback position opposite Diggs gets kind of figured out this week. I mean, you add Xavier Rhodes, but you also have some other options there. Is it kind of we just got to watch all these guys in practice? What's the best option here?
No, I think Dan's been getting his hands around that. He wanted to see some things last night, and I think he's starting to get a feel in his mind how he wants to play our corners, and I think we'll have a good rotation there in terms of how we want to play, our top three corners, and we'll go from there.
All right, excellent. Appreciate it very much, good sir. We're all looking forward to the playoffs and hopefully talking with you next week, getting ready for the division round.
Sounds great, guys. Great being on with you.